Brian, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I am good. I am good. Happy Halloween. People watching this are going to be like, what? Huh? But
you too. Yeah.
now I have a question for you.
you.
Is Halloween for you the weekend before or the weekend after?
Oh, it's the whole month of October.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
We had an argument at work, and I was like, when does it stop? It doesn't.
And technically, as a horror fan, like I watch horror movies all year round, but during October, I watch mostly horror films. Like I hardly watch anything else during October. And so we did that with our son too. And then we have traditions. We go to Halloween Town, this Halloween shop in LA that's really cool. It's owned by like a special effects dude. So that's where we get our masks and that kind of stuff. And we start early in the month thinking about what we're going to be by the end of the.
Nowadays, I feel like I miss October because it's also Rocktober, where there's so many shows that I haven't watched a movie all month. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a show yet. Yeah, so you got to pick.
Well, you are kicking off my Showvember tomorrow night at Cobb's Comedy Club. You're going to be doing Cobb's on Friday and 2 shows on Saturday this weekend. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, with an old buddy of mine and Guy O'Beelam. He's been with me at the Cobb's before, but we go back to the Punchline in the 90s. And we were roommates in Bush and Divisadero area.
Oh, yeah.
During grunge.
I have an Guy O'Beelam story.
Yeah?
Back in the Punchline days, I was filling in for Jeff Wills's assistant, Melissa Burnley.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so in answering her phone, if you remember, she booked the Punchline back then.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm answering her phone all week, and Ngaio is calling, like doing the hustle, trying to get booked. And I keep telling him, hey, dude, I can't book you. I'm just filling in. You got to call back next week when she's here. And I'm like, I can, and he goes, can you leave a message? And I'm like, yeah, I can leave a message. What's your name? And he's like, Ngaio O'Beelam. And I was like, what?
Right.
And I'm like, you're going to have to teach me that. And then he called back every single day that week to tell me jokes and teach me to spell his name and pronounce his name, just to make sure that in case I had a chat with Burnley when she came back, I was like, you got to call this Ngaio O'Beelam guy and book him for the Punchline.
Yeah. You got to hustle when you're a young comic, man. It's rough. I don't even know how I got here.
Yeah. Not to date the both of us, but that was 20 years ago.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's kind of crazy how time flies. Which reminds me, your act is always fresh. For people who don't know, I see you every time you're in town and sometimes when you're out of town. And you have always managed to like just have so much new material. Does that get exhausting?
No, writing is my favorite part of what I do. I love performing, but coming up with the bits, I mean, I would be doing that if I didn't have an outlet. I'd just be writing stuff all day long. So, no, that's the easy part. Traveling, not coming to San Francisco, but the other part of traveling that I do, that's what gets you down when you've been doing it as long as I have, when you're an old road dog, as they say.
As a comedy writer, have you ever written something and given it away and been like, oh, I should have kept that? Written it for someone else and been like,
No, not really. I'm trying to think of like if I've written roast jokes for roast and wish that I would have done it. But no, normally, I mean, I really only write for people. I write for myself, but I rarely write for other comics. But in some situations it's come up, but not where I've been like, hey. I've definitely heard people do jokes that I go, oh man, I wish I would have thought of that, for sure.
Have you heard anyone do a joke and been like, wait a minute, I wrote that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Joking is a thing, and people don't talk about it until they talk about it. And then the floodgates open and it's like,
It happened when I was real young, the first time I moved to Los Angeles, and I was like super naive. And I had a couple of things taken from this club, and then I couldn't get in the club anymore. And then I suddenly saw my stuff on TV. And so that taught me a lesson early. But yeah, not lately. My stuff would be too hard, like, you
to
know,
convert now.
yeah, I have a 10-minute story about a car accident. Like nobody's gonna steal that, like
I
they're
was
too
gonna
much.
ask you about that because
Yeah.
holy shit. Like, not only is it one of the most horrific accident stories I've ever heard, it's literally every family's worst nightmare. But you make it funny.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I mean, I love the details, and so it's really, yeah, the things where people laugh, the laugh points in that story are, just the ridiculous amount of detail I throw in, and that I somehow find a way, even in a car accident story, to throw Sammy Hagar under the bus.
I didn't want to spoil it, but I was going to say, has Sammy heard?
And I love him. I grew up, I mean, before he joined Van Halen, if you're a Bay Area kid, he was huge for me. Yeah. So I loved Montrose and I loved Hagar. And yeah, maybe there's a couple Van Halen songs he performed on that I don't like so much, but come see me at Cobb's. Come see me at Cobb's to hear about it. but yeah, for me, that's the funny parts is all the, the stuff I filled in. But I mean, I pretty much tell the story exactly how it happened, but that's just the way comics brains work is, the details and what's funny about that detail. Yep.
Tell the story and then point out the absurdity in the story.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
How are you doing after that accident? Because it had to be incredibly traumatic. I feel like I would be off.
I don't know. Like at my age, I don't know if it's accident pain or if it's just old guy pain. So like, but I'm actually in the kind of the best shape I've been in a while. So ever since the accident, it was totally unrelated, but I started losing a lot of weight. I've lost almost 100 pounds in the last year and a half. So, so I'm feeling a lot better, but I still have like neck and, but my neck hurt before the car accident. So who knows?
A lifetime of headbanging will do that for you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's a huge thing for me now too. Like my neck will hurt and I'll go, why does that hurt? And I'll go, oh yeah, because 2112 came on in the car and you headbanged the entire time to Syrinx, and or whatever, whatever song came on, and I'm an old man in my car, and then the next day I'm hurting, or after a show for sure, like
as
the last Metallica show I saw you at, yeah,
I can tell you that I have to adjust now. It's not this anymore. It's a little of this. It's some of this. It's a nod. It's a gentle.
Yeah.
Sometimes just my feet are keeping time,
and
the rest of me is.
It's definitely not as vigorous as it was when I was a child.
Not that I'm not super
at
into
the
it.
Stone. Yeah.
Just have injuries from mosh pits of past. That Metallica show I saw you at, a Phoenix. We were in the snake pit together, and I posted a photo from it. And it kind of went crazy on Facebook. And it turns out I'm the only person I know that doesn't watch or hasn't watched Big Bang Theory.
Oh, right.
Because
people yell Bert and Big Bang, and you're like, what?
And something about rocks that rock.
Oh, yeah. So most of my friends don't watch that show, and my friends half my friends didn't even know I was on that sitcom, and it's so out of a lot of people's universes. But but there are people that love that show. A lot of people. My mother-in-law is a huge fan, and I think she thought I was funny before I was on that show, but I can't remember. But she definitely does now, and she got to come to the set and and meet some of the other characters, and so. It was cool.
So now you have mother-in-law approval for life. Not that you didn't have it before,
sure.
But now you're like in there.
You got to earn that though. Yeah.
But now you're in the will.
Yes.
So I read that Big Bang Theory, now that I'm aware of it and you in it, and that you're a part of, what would you call it? Is it a reboot, a spinoff, a Max show? Is that happening?
I wish we would have talked about this earlier. I can't really talk about it, but I will say I will confirm that yes, I am on hold for a spinoff.
Okay. Well, I
in
mean,
the
that part's in
universe.
variety, so you can say what's public, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That much is true.
So
isn't that a new wave song? I don't know.
Oh, are you thinking Spandau Ballet?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not just a metal dude. I liked girls in the 80s that didn't like metal. So
as an 80s metalhead girl, I could tell you that was most of them.
Yeah, there was all
like
the Molly Ringwalds that were like, ew, you like metal?
Exactly. So let's see. So you can confirm that it exists and that it's potentially in development.
Yes, and I'm very happy if it goes.
And should it come to fruition, you will be thrilled.
Yes, I will be the happiest I've been.
Are you parked in just an acting capacity or also in a writing capacity?
No, that would just be the character Bert coming back. Yeah, the acting. But I love that sitcom acting, man. I just got to do an episode. I can talk about George Lopez show coming up, Lopez versus Lopez, and I've known him since I opened for him at the Punchline in the early '90s, and so it was crazy to be on his show. And my buddy Al Madrigal, another San Francisco comic, he's on the show too. So it was super fun. And sitcom acting is so different from any other style of acting because you get that immediate response of the live audience. And I used to do Just Shoot Me. And then when I first started, I got lucky. I got to do like every 90s sitcom. So I did Friends in the heyday, and I did Seinfeld the last season. And those shows are just like the energy you feel. It's like a rock show. It really is, like, because people are so psyched to be there, and it's super fun.
And plus, you don't have that pressure of the week after week, right? You're the guy that gets to drop in and have like the bit part that's super fun. And when you walk in the room.
Just Shoot Me, I was the semi regular at the end there, but yeah, no, I never had the pressure of carrying the scene on that show. It was I was the goofy guy, and that's all I ever wanted to do. I remember being a kid and watching sitcoms and going, I want to be that, like J. Jonah Jameson on that, or no, what's that guy's J. Jonah Jameson's from Spider-Man, but what was the guy Jim Bullock?
Oh, spelled JM on Too Close for Comfort?
Yes, that guy. I thought he was so different character than I've ever played, but I loved that he would just come in and destroy and then leave, and I loved characters like that. He was one of the first ones. Yeah.
He was like the early Kramer.
Yes, exactly.
It's funny because I did watch you in Just Shoot Me. I think, again, it might be the age thing, but I watched tons of sitcoms, obviously growing up in the 70s and 80s, and then into the 90s through college and stuff. But once the millennium hit, I think that I guess we all just got too damn busy. And then also I think that sitcoms kind of dumbed down a lot. And it just wasn't much fun.
Well, and so many people don't watch the main 3 channels anymore with all the other stuff out there. You're getting your comedy from Netflix, and you're getting your comedy from Amazon and all these other places. So you're not really watching what CBS and NBC and Fox are still doing,
I actually haven't watched the big 3 in years. I have to force myself. I have to have it like on a DVR or something, because I wanted to watch Enforcer because Queen Latifah's in it, and I was like, well, I want to see what Queen do. But I have to DVR it, or I will completely forget that it's on. I'll start watching.
Equalizer, you mean Equalizer?
Equalizer. What did I say?
Enforcer. But yeah, I knew it.
Oh, sorry. Did I mention I'm old now?
I just called Jim Bullock J. Jonah Jameson. So yeah, it happens.
It's exactly what happens.
You have all this information crammed in your head, and it's coming out wrong. Yeah,
the human computer isn't just file not found. Sometimes it's wrong file thrown at you for no reason.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Sweden and Switzerland.
And the hard drive will just crash, and you got to reboot.
Exactly. When you get here,
tomorrow. When what were you gonna ask?
Oh,
Sorry.
I was gonna say, when you get here, I think I know where you're gonna go first, but can you talk about your love of House of Nanking?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm pretty vocal about it. I even, when I'm up there, I mention it in my act. I think I'm waiting to be sponsored. Um,
You're not
get a,
yet? I feel
get
like
a free sweatshirt. No, they definitely. I don't even know. The owner's daughter probably knows who I am, but the owner, I've been going there forever, and I don't think he ever recognizes me, and it's fine. But
So we
I
found
am the
2
biggest.
people in San Francisco that don't watch Big Bang Theory, and that's
Yeah, I'm the biggest fan of that restaurant. I think it was here when I lived in San Francisco, but I didn't get hip to it till mid '90s, and I've been going ever since. It's one of those
Was it
places.
because of Anthrax?
What?
Was it the Anthrax guys? Remember they did a big
No.
thing at House of Nanking, didn't they, in the 90s?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. No, I found out about it through other comedy people, and then when I would come back up and be at Cobb's or Punchline or wherever, I would always make it. And I don't think I've been to San Francisco in the last 20 years and not gone to House of Nanking while I was there.
Nice. I work in North Beach now every day. That's where the station is. So for me, it's like a nonstop daily resistance of the things that are in that neighborhood.
There's so many great restaurants. I mean, I love the sizzling rice made at the table, and then the things he does with chicken. That sounds wrong, but he has a way with chicken.
Chicken lover.
With everything. I mean, all the sauces. You can't really go wrong at that place. And the longer I've gone, I mean, I used to just go whatever I would tell the chef or his wife, just whatever, and then they go, "How hungry are you?" And I go, "Pretty hungry," and then
and you're like,
just bring it out and bring whatever. But now I actually I'll have some things in mind when I go in there. But
awesome. Yeah. I kind of want to go in there with you one day and just see like what happens. Like,
well, now that I'm on the weight loss drug, I can't go nuts like I used to. This is
why I should go. We can split everything.
Yeah, but I can't pig out like I used to, and it's ruined being a foodie. But
is it one of the ones that makes you not hungry, or is it one of the ones that like processes the insulin or whatever?
Oh God, no. I think it really it curbs your appetite is the big thing. And then if you overdo it, you feel like crap. That's the big thing. Like yeah. So like if you went and did if you went and did a 7-course meal, you would just it would be a bummer somewhere. Yeah, you couldn't.
Yeah. Although honestly, at our age, that would be a bummer anyway.
Oh, right.
So
I used to love that. Yes.
Let's talk about your new podcast. Is it new or is it newish?
No,
right?
It's been around a long time, but we're promoting a new season of it, and we just did a video thing with Schecter guitars, and Metal Injection is helping us out and promoting it with us. So it's like our sixth season or something like that. Yeah.
6? All right, I'm behind.
But then we did. Like before on a whole other platform, it was called Nerd Poker, but it was we were on Earwolf for years, and we used to do it out of a studio. But then I was like, D&D should be played at home on a table, and you got to move stuff out of the way to play D&D. Like that's how it should be played, and have your friends come over and spill Mountain Dew or whatever, and so that's what we've done the last 6 seasons of it. And then we just, I have an engineer who records the whole show and then chops it up into hour pieces.
So everybody comes over to your house, or
yeah. We play in my dining room.
Of course, it's in the dining room.
Wherever.
Like you have a nerd cave, but you still have to take over the biggest table in the house for D&D.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, this room's small. We're in the nerd cave right now, so it's just Legos and a pinball machine, so and my computer.
is the Nerd Poker Show just strictly a D&D campaign every time, or is there kind of a conversational aspect of like larger D&D issues or whatever?
Oh no, we play the game and then we mess around a little, and because a couple of us are older, we digress a lot, and there's a lot of
in the 80s, your dice started to wear down.
Yeah. But just old references, and plus we've been playing together for years, so we have just this way of, stuff that makes us laugh that we keep hitting,
I only played D&D in the 80s, and I did a little Star Wars role play in the 90s. So how has it changed between then and now as like a veteran of the genre?
Just the rules, really. And then and it's so popular now, but we do both. Like we'll do old modules from the original, from advanced D&D, from the 80s and 90s. And then we'll also do 4th and 5th edition, and well, not 4th so much, but the last edition. But and then we've done Star Wars role playing, but one of the guys on my show, he just makes it his own thing, and it's kind of based on The Mandalorian, but playing RPG roles, and it's super fun. We've done those for our bonus episodes, and it's a blast.
Nice. So are you like considering challenging the Joe Mangiello D&D game at some point?
I'd love to get invited. He's been over here.
Like a crossover Rumble episode would just be like a fucking pay-per-view special, right? It would be like the WWE of D&D.
I know
D&D can be the title. I don't even want credit for that.
He's king nerd. He's way nerdier than I am. And he's so handsome, but he's very nerdy. He has I think he hand paints his own guys, and well, a lot of us do that. I've done that too, but not on purpose, only because my DM said, "Hey, you got to paint your guy."
Are you ever honey, my guy is chipped. Do you have any nail polish? I need a purple.
But he has a carrying case and all these other NPC characters that ready to go, and just it's crazy. He came over, and my wife was here, and you met Melanie. She's like, "Wow, he's handsome, but boy, is he nerdy." And I was like, "Yeah, he sure is." And she was, all her friends were like, "Oh my God, I can't believe he was there and you didn't tell me." All her tennis friends wanted to come over while Joe Manganiello's in the house. Yeah.
Well, I do think that you guys need to do a crossover episode, because I think that would be super epic.
Yes, I'd love to go on his show with this crazy little dog.
Write themselves.
He's doing a documentary about D&D, and I got to be in that last year.
Oh, cool.
So I think that's coming out in the near future. But yeah, it was fun. Like
a 2025 thing?
I believe. Yeah. At this point.
Because I do remember hearing about that now that you mention it. But it just went out of my head.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything since I did it about, its progress or where it is, but he seemed very serious about it. Go ahead.
Apparently he's very serious about everything, nerd.
Yeah.
So I run into you at Comic-Con now instead of NAMM, which I think is awesome. And you are authoring. Are you authoring and inking, or are you authoring comics now?
Oh, I just write them. I don't draw ever. No one wants to see my drawing. But no, I did 2 books this year for Image that are currently still going. Grommets issue 6 is coming out soon, and same with the other book, Rifters issue 6, and then Rifters were done at 6, but Grommets is 7. So through the holidays. Excuse me.
Grab a drink.
Yeah, it's super fun.
I've seen Grommets. I know it's about skateboarding kids. What's the other one about? You said Rifters or Grifters?
Rifters. It's time travel in San Francisco, and they're cops. They're basically. I took the idea. It wasn't Time Cop, but it was I was like, what if there was a future where there were time police, but you had like low end, like beat cop guys that had to do like the smaller crimes. And it's basically like an influencer going to draw, you know, a wiener on Abraham Lincoln's head or whatever. They wouldn't send the top cop to do that. They would send, you know, just one of these.
It's like Vice Squad.
Yeah, basically. And then there's comedy in it too. And I wrote it with my buddy Joe Trohman, who was in that. He still is. He's in the guitar player for Fall Out Boy. Maybe you heard of him, but
yeah, I have actually.
But yeah, I couldn't name a song, but we're best buds, and we wrote this thing. We've written a couple things together now, and our wives are best friends, and our kids are friends, and just made sense. He's a good writing partner, and we had a blast. And then the other thing is skateboarding in the 80s, Grommets, and that's selling really well. It's like we're on our fifth print, our fifth printing of our first issue, and it's going crazy.
Yeah, I think skateboarding is one of those things that hasn't D&D, right? Skateboarding and D&D, they haven't changed much since the 80s. And what has changed is kind of still not that great, not a huge difference. So it's super relatable.
And the people that live through it, have, you know, it's what we're getting from them is people are like, oh, I don't have exact memory. I wasn't in Sacramento in 1985, but I was in Oakland in 1992, and I have like similar memories, and I was doing this, and you know, we're getting a lot of those kind of stories, and like, or East Coast guys going, because we opened up a letter thing for it, and so we're getting a ton of old school like letters of all these old skater guys going, oh my God, like I totally remember that, or this feeling, and running from jocks, and or you know, doing something you're not supposed to do and having security chase you, and you know, that kind of stuff that we all touch on things that, so it's all true stories that really happened to myself and my buddy Rick Remender, who's a big Image Comics guy. And like I just pitched him during COVID, we should write a skateboarding comic together because we have all these stories, because we had bonded over that. I was always terrible at it, but I loved it. Like I liked it when I was a little kid in the late 70s, and then
he was surfing.
When I was a teenager in the mid 80s, I got into it even harder. And then like by the end of the 80s, my last day job was, before I moved down to LA the first time, was putting skateboards together up in Sacramento at a skate shop. So I love the culture and remember, you know, when Tony Hawk was king the first time, you know.
And now he's a grandpa.
Yeah. Yeah, of Kurt Cobain's grandkid.
His grandchild.
My God. Like how 90s. Somebody,
That's
one of my friends.
Episode right there, sir.
Yeah. One of my friends riffed, hey, was that baby born in flannel? And I was like, pretty much. Like,
that's definitely what is, yeah, that's how it got swaddled.
Yeah.
The flannel swaddling cloth was probably a gift they got entirely too many times. It's great because we can remember the time before they started putting those notches on benches to stop kids from skating across them.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know, the anti-skateboarding of the 80s where they were powerless to stop everyone, but still tried by yelling and shaking their fists at the sky.
Oh, believe me, I had a skateboarding is not a crime sticker on my VW Bug. Like, how cliche was that?
That's quintessential. Is that in a panel?
No, because we don't have us owning cars at that point. We kind of left it. We had us kind of be junior high. Yeah. It's...
Gotcha. So you're going to do a comic book signing for Grommets for the issue 6 then?
Yeah, well, 5 at Isotope, and then and I'll be signing whatever else people bring, Deadpool, or a lot of people show up with Devil's Reject stuff, and I welcome that always. I've signed so many Devil's Rejects posters in my life. It's not even, it's crazy. So, yeah, and then Rifters bring issues of Rifters, and they'll have issues of Rifters for sale there, too.
Is Rifters available since it's a complete set now? Is it available in the complete set?
Not yet. It will be. So the 6th issue hasn't even dropped, but it's coming soon. And then when that once that comes out, The trade will come out like I think March or something like that.
So the Isotope signing is this Saturday at 2:00.
Oh, 1 to 3.
1:00, 1 to 3 at Isotope in San Francisco.
Yeah, and I'll be at House of Nanking at 11:30.
You'll show up with leftovers.
And then getting in a Lyft or an Uber and heading to Isotope. Yeah.
That's awesome. So speaking of Deadpool, I watched it over. I watched the new one at Comic-Con because Comic-Con After Dark is really boring now. There's just not that much going on, or there is, and I'm not invited. I don't know which it is, but and then
it's always been private parties and stuff. It's always like go to the Hard Rock on the roof or one of those places.
Right. We used to do that, and now it's like we're just going.
Mm-hmm.
I'm old, but then I saw you in the credits, and I was like, "What? Did you have a part in the film, or did they base the film story on the comic that you participated in?"
No, but they used one of our characters that we created in that big battle when there's all those Deadpools. There's a gray one that has like robes. That's our guy Zenpool. He's like a more centered version of Deadpool. He's more spiritual, and he's martial arts and stuff. And
like the Kung Fu. David
Yeah, exactly. Zenpool was our guy. And so when I saw him, oh my God, like I saw it with my son and we were both.
Did you not know they were using him till the premiere?
No, I had no idea. I wasn't at the premiere. No, I saw it when that week it came out. I didn't see it in San Diego. I think I came home and we saw it like Sunday night here in the Valley. But we had no idea. And then at the end, I'm in the special thanks. And it just meant a lot. Like, it's like, sure, a check would be nice, but to be involved with Marvel and to be like, look at me, I'm wearing a Wolverine. It's not on purpose. That's just who I am. I've loved Marvel comics since I was very little. And, to be at all involved in them and to be like in a good movie too. The fact that it's not, I was in the Silver Surfer, but you don't see me bragging about it. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I got to meet Stan Lee. That was the high point of that when I did that Silver Surfer movie. They shot in Vancouver, and he was there. Well, he was in one of my scenes, and he's at this table for lunch. Just sitting with all the crew people, but he had a table to himself, and I had to. And I went over and I said, sir, do you mind if I sit here? And then I ate quietly for a little bit. And then I said, sir, I got to just say, this, huge fan. And then he was really sweet. It was exactly Stan Lee, the way you expect him to be, like, well, like a lot of Excelsior and just saying everything you would think you would do,
Oh my God. Did you just nerd explode?
Yeah, it was amazing. I was freaking out.
I mean, I was just in the theater just being all like, literally, I know that guy. I know him. I went full out and seeing you in the credits. I can't imagine sitting at a table with Stan Lee, just like eating mac and cheese and being like, so.
I was trying to play it cool, but I probably wasn't very cool. Nobody could beat when I met Geddy Lee, though. Like, I met Geddy Lee, and that was the dumbest I've ever been. Like, my brain fell out of my body, and I wasn't even there. I was just like, I called him sir twice, like in the same sentence. Sir, it's a pleasure to meet you, sir. Some shit like that, where I was just like, oh my God.
Did he call you private? Easy private.
Yeah, but I don't know what was happening.
So he's going to be the nicest person ever about it.
Yeah, well, you hear about people like losing it over certain celebrities, and I never had that experience. I've met people, and I met Dennis Hopper, and I went up to him and just had a normal conversation with him, and like other like people I was a big fan of, but him, I couldn't talk. My whole my best friend was standing next to me going, dude, what happened? Like, where were you? Like, that wasn't even you.
You had an out-of-body experience.
Yeah, I just
that happened.
Well,
to
you
me
don't think you're gonna
alone.
meet Geddy Lee. You like when you're it's Sonoma on your paper route, listening to signals on your your Walkman. Yeah, you don't think you're gonna meet that dude ever. You know what I mean? Like,
if it's any consolation, I mean, working backstage, I've met a jillion rock stars. I've literally with Mick Jagger, and I met Joey Ramone and did the exact same thing. Just
yeah. I have a friend. Well, one of my best friends is his favorite guy is Elvis Costello, and he met Elvis Costello and just couldn't talk at all. Just like blah blah blah, blah. And Elvis is like, "Well, sorry about that," and just kept walking.
It happens to the best of us.
Yes.
I also saw that Ryan Reynolds dropped you on Instagram.
Yeah, right? Pretty cool. A highlight that day. Yes.
I got all chuffed for you. I was like, dude, are you kidding me? So with all of this going on, do you have time for metal anymore?
Metal? Oh, yeah.
Wow. I mean, I love your metal albums.
Oh, I want to do another one. I mean, the COVID really messed us up on the Posehn record. The timing was so bad, and like we never got to tour. Scotty Ian and I were planning to tour it, and we never got to. And 2 years of doing nothing. But yeah, I would love to do that again, and it was so fun. And just to have, well, I mean, I have this piece that has like Chuck Billy, it has Sousa, it has Rob, Cavastani. It's got all of my friends from metal, but that I never would have thought they were my friends when I was a teenager. But like, yeah, it's I'm proud of that record, at least Grandpa Metal, and would love to hit it again. And I still love going to shows and checking out new bands. And
who are you listening to now?
Oh, they're probably, I think they're maybe they're from Santa Cruz, but they're excuse me, more crossover. They're called Drain. Mm-hmm. Have you heard of them? They're pretty big. It's like hardcore.
Drain STH, and then I remember there was another Drain, and that's why they had to be Drain STH. But this is probably Drain, right?
I think they just go as Drain, but it reminds me of SOD and Leeway and like all that, and DRI even, and then just huge breakdowns. And the singers, I mean, I haven't seen them live. I like that. I like End It, a hardcore band out of Baltimore. And I like Speed is probably the more mainstream. They're LA, I think, hardcore. I've always liked crossover stuff when we were kids. And this newer generation, the stuff I've heard, I kind of got into. End It, I was just in a restaurant and I was like, what is this? And I went and asked the guy that,
You heard it in a restaurant?
Running the place. And I was like, it was a burger joint in like Raleigh, but I was like, well, who is this? You don't hear hardcore bands in burger places that often, but out in Raleigh you do.
That is good to know. I'm surprised to find that out. Are we going to see you at Metallica again at Levi Stadium? Do you think you might get up for that?
For which one?
Levi Stadium.
When are they playing?
June 20th and 22nd.
Oh, yeah, I might come up for that for sure.
It's like almost a hometown show. I mean, it's technically a hometown show, but it's also closer to you because it's
Where is Levi?
South. Santa Clara. It's next door to Great America.
Oh, yeah. Wow, Great America. Is that still there?
For a limited time. They're actually going to get rid of it. I'm not sure how many years it's got left, but it's got a few years left.
How haunted is that place?
What's crazy is the press lot at Levi Stadium, because the Bone does the 49er games. We broadcast the 49er games. So
that's where that is now. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I park in the press lot, and the press lot is the old Great America overflow lot. So I'm driving in, and they've literally just painted over those little huts, those little parking huts.
Yeah. Wow.
You can still totally tell it's Great America parking, but it's for the 49ers at Levi Stadium now.
No, I got to look into that. My son wants to see them again too. So yeah, that would be a good time to come up.
good summer weekend when he's out of school.
Yes.
You know, I don't know. I don't want to say it's like the obviously had the car accident bonded you more, but I love running into you and you're with your kid at Comic-Con and you guys seem to have like, cause he's a teenager now, right? And you guys have the best father-son relationships I have ever seen for a teen and a teen dad. Like, do you have any parenting advice for people?
Well, I'm real lucky. I know you always hear the like, don't be their friend, but I've always thought that was BS. And like, my mom made the wrong choices when I was a teenager. She didn't encourage, you know, I don't know. I just try to be more open. And I just, when he wants to spend time with me, I am so in. I never say no. I always make time. And it's always on his, you know, I do it on his time. Like, I don't go in and bug him when he's playing a video game and go, hey, pal, come out and do this. You know, I wait for him to come to me. But when he does that, I'm always totally open. And you just listen to them, really. Like, but, you know, he hates, like, when I pick him up and I go, how was school? You know, that stuff is like, but I usually, the real conversation comes like 10 minutes later and I'm making him laugh. And then, you know, and it's super fun. Like, I love our relationship and I make fun of it on stage, but he's not the typical teenager. He does respect us and likes, I think, genuinely has fun with, my wife's pretty fun to be around too. So I think he genuinely likes, you know, us as parents. Who knows? He might have something completely different to say, but to me, it feels like we're doing the right job. And he likes the good music and he loves movies. He's into Quentin Tarantino now and he still collects toys, but action figures, and he makes little movies out of them now. And he's still my little nerd, but now he's in a 15-year-old body and he's 6 feet tall and he's got my voice. So it's crazy.
I think it's awesome. And I don't know if anybody else has noticed that or brought it up, but I definitely noticed, you know, it's one of those things you just don't get to see enough of is like happy families and kids who are like down to hang with their parents. And I love it, especially with somebody who travels as much as you do.
Yeah. You know, I didn't have a dad and so it was always, to me, I would look at other kids and see, you know, when I was real young, I was like, wah, you know. And then I saw that some people didn't have the best relationships and I would, you know, see that. So once I became a dad, I didn't have that much emotionally to, you know, that I had gone through, you know what I mean? Because I didn't have like somebody who threw a football or any of that stuff. So I was like, oh, I'll just wing it. And I have, but I feel pretty confident or feel pretty good about it because the kid is awesome on the level, at least. Who knows what's going on in his room? But, you know.
Well, he's 15. We know what's going on in his room.
Gross.
Sorry.
No,
that was out of line, but you know.
Yeah. No, I say it in my act. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, speaking of your act, it is Friday, one show Friday night, 2 shows Saturday night at Cobb's Comedy Club in San Francisco this weekend. Tickets are on sale now at livenation.com, and I will see you at the Friday night show.
Oh, cool. See you there. Thanks so much.
Yeah, awesome.